when this case was filed, there was an acknowledgement of paternity for the child Hunter, but then this court ordered DNA testing, correct?
Yes.
All right. Judge will offering as Exhibit A the DNA test results in this case, indicating that Mr. Nelson is the father of Hunter.
That in the court file. DNA results. I do see they're in the court file. I'm putting them right now, and they do show that Mr. Nelson cannot be excluded, and so I'll admit those into evidence. States Exhibit A and take judicial notice as well for these results.
Ma'am, do you reside in Chambers County?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And could you tell us the full name and age of your child?
Hunter Michael Nelson, he's 7 months.
Okay. I'm going to go over what I believe to be the agreement that the parties have, and then address at the end what there may be some issues with. All right. And sir, I'm going to ask you these same questions in a moment, so just so you're aware. My belief is that the parties have agreed to joint managing conservatorship with the child, with the mother as primary, and that the child lives with Miss Jenkins most of the time. That child support will be set at $755 a month starting December 1st of this year. That Mr. Nelson will insure Hunter on his private medical and dental insurance, and he was given credit for that in that child support calculation. That there will be retroactive child support of $4,082 to be paid back at $50 a month starting December 1st of this year. My understanding is that the parties are not opposed to visitation and can get along well, but there is some issue of how to word and arrange that, given that there is a restraining order against Mr. Nelson's current spouse. Do you agree with the things that I've said so far, Ms. Jenkins?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any concerns about your address being in order of this court?
No.
Okay. Now, so you agree with the terms as I stated them, and we're talking about just the visitation now, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is it correct that you and Mr. Nelson are able to discuss things and work out visitation for Hunter?
Possibly.
Okay. Is the concern regarding the restraining order situation, is the concern about Hunter going to his home for periods of time overnight? Is that your concern?
Yes.
Okay. Has Mr. Nelson visited with Hunter in the past?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. How do you envision this occurring? Are you, because I'm going to ask him in a minute what he's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Is he coming to your house? Are you meeting at a neutral place? How is this?
We can meet at a neutral place. I'm pretty positive his spouse doesn't want him here, so.
Okay. The child is very young right now, under a year. Is there any thought about when this gets beyond just, it's one thing to meet at McDonald's or a restaurant or something for an hour, but when the child gets a little older and we're talking about longer periods of visitation, any thoughts about that?
He hasn't shown any care or concern about our child since he's been born, so I don't know if he cares to even know him, so.
Okay. I'm going to pass this witness right now and check with Mr. Nelson, Judge. Mr. Nelson, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Going over just the beginning terms, the financial and stuff, is that the agreement as you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, talking about the visitation, you haven't visited with a child in the past, is that fair?
No, ma'am.
You haven't visited him, that's true? That's what you're saying? Okay.
Correct.
Is it correct that there is a restraining order against Mr. Jenkins and your current spouse right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you know if there's a length of time? Is this an ongoing thing, or is this for a year, or do we know?
I'm not sure. You have to ask her.
Okay. We're about to spend some time trying to figure out how you can visit with Hunter. Sir, do you intend to visit with Hunter? Do you want to?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I asked that because if the answer was no, that would probably, we wouldn't spend as much time trying to work this out.
Right.
Clearly, for the foreseeable time, the child is small, you could meet at a restaurant, you could meet at a public place, something like that. Do you
Correct.
have any thoughts? When the child gets a little older, I mean,
Absolutely.
we can't, I don't think you want to meet at McDonald's for the next 18 years. So
Correct.
do you have any thoughts? Do you have a mother, an aunt, a father, some family member who you could take the child to their house and visit there with the child? Because
I'm sure we could figure it out.
okay, do you have anything more concrete than that? Because we're trying to work on a court order where we need something in writing.
Okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Can I
be
say
honest,
really quick? I'm sorry.
Judge.
Ma'am, just hold tight. Right now he's on the stand. If you want to take notes so you don't forget what you're saying, feel free to do that. Okay, sir, you can answer her question.
am I back on? Okay, at this very moment, I don't have like you know what I mean, like an actual just blueprint laid out about how we would go about it. I figure, just over time we figure that out. But I do have the intent is definitely there.
Sir, do you have other children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How many other children?
One.
Does that child live with you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I will pass this witness and go back to Miss Jenkins, Judge, if that's all right.
That's fine.
What were you going to say, ma'am?
His mother is also a part of the restraining order.
Okay. Can you tell us?
Copy of that
Yeah, I was about to
restraining
say, can you tell us a little bit more about this, or do you have a copy?
I can give you the case number.
Is it in chambers?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, I'm not going to have access to it. If you can
try.
try. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
It's going to be 240-00-563.
563.
Okay. Do you know the length of this restraining order?
I'm not sure the length. I want to say probably a year.
Okay. And is the nature of it basically that the current spouse and his mother and you can't be around each other?
They threatened me while I was pregnant with our son. So
okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay, nothing is coming up with that number. It's out of Chambers County.
Yes, ma'am.
Usually things
what's the title of the order?
It's not DCV or anything in there.
It says notice of criminal trespass. So it's trespass order and restraining orders that he filed that day. I have the paperwork.
Maybe from a JP, Judge.
Maybe.
I have the paperwork here from the no trespass orders and then the receipts from mailing off the paperwork as well.
All right.
And you're sure it's just 240000563?
Yes.
I'm betting that's out of a JP.
It wouldn't be on the regular portal?
It was definitely Holden Reese was the officer.
Okay, did you get Mr. Nelson?
Yes, ma'am. My mother being on the restraining order is kind of irrelevant. Okay. She lives in Louisiana. She will not. It's irrelevant. Now, the part with my spouse, that's relevant, but
okay, mother's not local. Got it.
It's not even relevant.
Okay, ma'am, have you sent a copy of that to the AG's office?
I did put a copy online.
What does that mean online?
On the website.
I'm looking.
Okay.
I think regardless, there would be an issue. There would be an issue with her being around the current spouse, regardless of what this document says.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I found it. Give me just a minute, Judge. I'm going to email it to you. It's something from the sheriff's office. It's not an order or a case. So they're not allowed to come. This address here is your address listed on this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're not allowed to come back on your property. Is that?
This is really trespassing. Okay.
Yeah. They threatened to come to my house. His wife had showed up to my house one time before, so I didn't take that threat lightly. Yeah.
I'm sending it to you, Judge. There's two.
This is not a protective order at all. This is.
The protective order was supposed to be done by the officers. So from This is just the paperwork that he had given me on that day. And then he gave me the card with the case number for everything else.
What I sent you is what we have in our records, those two documents.
I'm not sure what you're asking for, Mr. Nelson. So I'm not sure how much testimony I need or don't need.
Yeah, I'm not. What am I asking for? You said, what am I asking for?
Yes, sir.
I'm not asking for anything. I was just waiting for whatever.
What do you want in terms of visitation ordered?
Oh, the visitation. Oh, whatever she's willing to agree to. I work shift work, so my schedule is I work 12-hour shifts. So, whatever she's willing to agree to, the weekends that I'm off. I'm normally off 2 weekends every month, so I'd be fine if she'd be okay with it.
And what are you requesting on those 2 weekends? Like, because these orders have to be very clear and specific.
Okay,
So
it doesn't. If I understand like the whole the restraining order situation. So if it, I mean, obviously, if it can't be overnight, obviously I'd have to respect that. But past that, just some sort of visitation that we could agree upon to to like I said, maybe 2 weekends out of the month, whichever weekends that I'm off. Does you need more specific than that?
yes. Miss Jenkins, what are you proposing?
I mean, we can meet at a park or something if that's what he wants to do.
So are those 2 weekends consistent, or do they vary every month?
They vary.
How far in advance do you know when they are?
A week, maybe a week out. Yeah.
What park do you want to use, Miss Jenkins?
I really don't know what's close to the both of us, so we would have to research that honestly. It could be a park, it could be just a mutual spot in between because we're like an hour away from each other.
So it looks like Mr. Nelson is more in Brazoria County and she is in Chambers.
What roads do you all take to get to each other?
I-10.
10.
Someone want to Google parks along I-10?
Looking
I will warn you, the one time I did this for someone, they did not like the results.
at it.
I did it out of Waco and they were not happy with the Walmart I chose.
I mean, he's welcome to come here, but like I said, his wife might be opposed to that.
We want to pick a restaurant or something, Judge. I make that drive a lot, and there's not a lot of great areas that aren't really on one side or the other. You know, there's not much in the middle ground. It's industrial and high crime, some of it.
You all know the halfway restaurant?
Got Papados or something like that off of I-10. But that's closer to me than it is to him.
Is there one that maybe has like a play area?
I don't know about that. I know in that same area, there's an Iguana Joe's with the play area.
You're talking about over in Baytown?
No, that one's in Houston. It's off of the Beltway. On I-10. It's off the Beltway and I-10 on can't even think of the name of the street, but
yeah, it's
Wallaceville, I think.
yes, it's Beltway. I mean, where she's suggesting is 5710 on the Beltway. I mean,
Will that work for you, sir?
looks like it's about 30 miles from him and 37 miles from her or something like that.
What restaurant is it again?
No, not quite that far. Iguana Joe's. Okay, it looks like it's about 15 miles from her, 30-ish from him. I didn't do their exact addresses. I did their town.
Okay.
It's a casual Mexican place that has a playground.
probably as good as anything.
Now, somebody else has some other ideas. I mean, we're about to end up at a McDonald's somewhere.
But some of those have playgrounds too.
Is that imperfect but acceptable?
That works for me.
Okay.
Mr. Nelson, I can't hear you.
You're on mute, sir.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I'm sorry
Okay.
about that.
I will also say the order of the court will say that you're doing this unless otherwise agreed. So if this goes forward and y'all are working together and communicate, you can arrange to meet at other places. You can pick other places. It doesn't have to be this for life.
Yeah, other
They're
places,
just-
other times, yeah.
There just has to be something specific in the order that's court enforceable, but parties can agree to other things.
Okay.
Yeah, and okay, so I'm going to approve the agreements that y'all made. The joint managing conservatorship, Miss Jenkins having the right to determine the primary residence. The child support, Mr. Nelson is ordered to pay Miss Jenkins $755 per month beginning December 1st of 2024. And Mr. Nelson is ordered to put the child on medical and dental insurance. I think it was through his job. And I'm ordering the back child support judgment against Mr. Nelson in the agreed to amount of $4,082 as of today. And I'm ordering that he pay that back at the agreed to amount of $50 each month, beginning of December 1st of 2024. For the visitation, I'm going to order, at all times mutually agreed, like Ms. Fussell said. And then failing agreement, Mr. Nelson has up to 2 times per month. He has to give 5 days notice. You can kind of model it after the other ones that require notice, Ms. Fussell. 5 days written or electronic notice of his intent to exercise a visit, which he shall have supervised at Iguana Joe's, the one that you looked up, from 1 to 3 on the selected date of the week. I guess on a weekend, it has, 1 to 3 on the selected weekend day.
What about any weekdays? Sometimes I'm off throughout the week sometimes.
But is she available on those days? Because she has to be available too. Ms. Jenkins, are you available during the week or just on the weekends?
We can figure it out.
I'm sorry?
We can figure it out.
Let's just put the weekend and they can figure out something else.
We're gonna
if
put
they-
the weekend for now, and if you're
Okay,
able to,
if they
if you want to work out something different, feel
Okay.
free.
Yes,
If y'all want to even at some point get to unsupervised, that's fine. But we just need something in the order that works right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's where we're stopping, Judge.
That's where we're stopping.
All right.
I do have a question before we finish everything.
What is your question, ma'am?
My family has a trip planned next year and I need to get my baby's passport and I know that he has to be present for that. Is there a way that I can get that without trying to figure out his schedule?
I believe the order is going to give her the right to apply for passports.
Our orders don't state that unless we do something specific.
I thought they do now. I thought they changed.
I can double check. But are you wanting something there that she can get a passport without him? Because that's not in there unless we.
Yeah. No, but I'm trying to find a JMC order. Yeah, the JMC orders now, I don't know when they made this change, have a section J, the right to apply for a passport for the child, renew the child's passport, and maintain possession of the child's passport. I'd like to think it's a recent change because I too didn't notice that for a while, but I'm not sure when you made it.
Okay, I'm behind. Let me look. That is not in the orders that I'm seeing that I've done. So
And it comes, I pulled one up from Liberty, and I know I've seen it in other counties,
Okay.
like the Cretan order that I just signed today had it in there, and that was JMC order.
okay. Oh, I see it in this next one here, this newer one.
Yeah.
Would it be possible?
Okay.
So I don't know though I don't know how the passport people, I can't remember the name of that agency. I don't know how that agency will read this order or not, ma'am. So you're gonna have to work with them.
Okay.
It's in there stating that you have that right. Hopefully they will, if you take the order, accept that. If not, he may need to sign a form.
Right. I know when I look online, it says that
Whatever paperwork needs to be signed, whatever needs to be done for that, I don't know. So we'll figure that out.
And if this is sufficient language, you will need probably a certified copy, not just.
Yes.
Okay.
Court costs a year from now, Judge.
Yep, court costs paid by Mr. Nelson on or before November 7th, 2025.
All right. I think that's all.
Okay, and so the AG's office is going to draft the order based on your agreements and my ruling today. They'll send it to me to review and sign off on, and then they'll send you a copy for your records. And again, if any of you need this for anything official, they probably would require a certified copy, whether it be a school or the passport agency or anything like that.
Where do I get that? Do I have to come to the courthouse?
District clerk's office.
Okay.
Okay, so you are all free to go for the day, and good luck with everything going forward. I'm going to stop the recording.